Hey everyone, and welcome to another Roblox Iffy video. Some of the greatest people on the Roblox platform are the Roblox YouTubers. They make fun and engaging content for all of us, from making funny roleplay videos to gameplay of dangerous games. When you've had a long day, watching some of their content is sure to put a smile on your face. However, it's easy to sometimes forget that these YouTubers have lives outside of their Roblox channels. And sometimes, like any other human being, these YouTubers can be put in situations where they can get seriously hurt or even worse, killed. So who are these YouTubers, and what happened to them that they made this list? Let's find out in the topic of today's video, 5 Roblox YouTubers who almost died in real life. Get ready, because you're about to see the craziest near-death stories from these YouTubers. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Now let's dive right in, starting with number 1. For number 1, we chose Gloom. Gloom is a YouTuber who was most well known for her games covering the very famous Prison Break as well as disaster survival. Ironically enough, she survived a natural disaster of her own, in which she tells us in a video titled "I Almost Drowned." Gloom shares a story of how one day she was playing around in the water when she suddenly began to drown until she was rescued by an unlikely stranger. The way in which she tells this experience is very poetic and abstract, and is a must-watch video to share Gloom's near-death drowning story. For number 2, we have Polk. One day, Polk was chilling in his house making a couple YouTube videos when he began to smell something burning. It didn't take long for him to figure out that part of his house was actually on fire. Quickly racing out, Polk realized that the 3rd floor of his apartment complex was completely engulfed in flames. Thankfully, nobody was hurt except for some property damage to the 3rd floor of the housing unit, and Polk stayed at his sister's house for a couple days. At number 3, we chose Dantdm. Dan was walking towards his garden from the inside of his house one day. Nothing in particular was out of the ordinary until he accidentally tripped and began to fall. As anybody falling would, Dan reached out towards his kitchen island in order to try and break his fall. Upon doing so though, his hand smashed into the counter and he fell, seemingly fine. In his video titled "I Broke My Hand," Dan tells the story of how after this fall, his hand began to feel a bit numb and strange. He just ignored it for the most part and even recorded 2 new YouTube videos. A couple hours later though, he realized that something was very wrong with his hand, and after a trip to the emergency room, found out that it had been broken. Although he suffered from a broken hand, this accident may have been the price Dan paid to escape death when he fell that day. For number 4, we chose Gaming with Jenn. One day, this YouTuber was riding a plane scheduled to land at the Jacksonville airport. However, while on their way, the pilot got a message from the airport reporting that the airport had been struck by lightning and that they would not be able to receive any more incoming flights. The pilot relayed this information to the passengers, and according to Jenn, the pilot said that the plane only had about 40 minutes of fuel left, and that if the airport didn't reopen within the time limit, they would have to try and make an emergency landing somewhere else. This crazy race against time obviously panicked several passengers, including Jenn. But thankfully, after about 25 minutes, which is still a close call, the airport reopened its gates for landing, and Jenn was able to safely share this story in a video titled "Our Plane Almost Crashed." But before we reveal our final pick, let us know down in the comments below which story was the wildest. Our pick is Gaming with Jenn's crazy plane story. Comment down below, and now move on to our final pick with number 5. For number 5, we chose It's Funny. One day, It's Funny and her siblings, the crew, had rented out an Airbnb for their vacation. For those of you who don't know, an Airbnb is a bed and breakfast company where you can stay in other people's houses in a hotel-esque temporary housing situation. It's Funny had gotten a very nice mansion as their Airbnb, and everything seemed mostly fine. When they all decided to go to bed though, one of the crew members couldn't fall asleep due to a strange noise in the house. As they recall in their video, it sounded like 3 small beeps, followed by a pause and another 3 beeps. This sound kept repeating until they went to investigate. They realized that it was a smoke alarm, as one of the Airbnb owner's doors had smoke pouring out of it. Jumping into action, the crew immediately grabbed their essentials and got out of there and called the fire department. Had they not acted quicker, they would have gotten seriously hurt in this house fire. So what did you think of our list? Have you ever had any near-death experiences? If so, make sure to let us know down in the comments below, and tune in next time for another Roblox Iffy video.